Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
So, today we will discuss on vitamins. Okay, a very familiar topic. Okay, we used to study the vitamins. I think from class 6 or 7 onwards, we used to talk about vitamins in daily food uptakes and all. So today we are going to talk about the different vitamins. Okay, their chemical structure, their source. Okay, what are the disease which is caused by the excess intake or low intake, means deficiency symptom or excess symptoms. We will discuss all those. Okay, so today first we will talk about what are the vitamins, how many vitamins are there, and then in detail about the fat soluble vitamins. Okay, about water soluble vitamins we'll take in detail in next class. So today we will first discuss about the vitamins, different type of vitamins, and then the fat soluble vitamin. Okay, so first, what are the vitamins? Okay, so they are basically a group of substances or organic molecules that are needed for the normal cell function, growth and development. Okay, and they are the essential micronutrient. Whenever we use the term essential, means these are the compounds, okay, which are not synthesized inside the body, so that's need to be taken from diet, from food. Okay, so actually not all, but majority of the vitamins are actually the essential micronutrient which are not synthesized inside the body. Not all, but most. Okay, they are taken through the dietary supplement. Okay, so they are group of molecules, organic molecules, okay, that are essential micronutrient required in very small quantity, and they are imperative, very important for proper functioning of organism metabolic processes. Okay, so for the entire for a cell to perform the metabolic process efficiently, okay, they needs several vitamins. Okay, so here there is a list of vitamins. There are 13 vitamins. The vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, D, E and K. Anyone can tell me why I have written vitamin A, D, E, K with red color and vitamin B and C with the blue? Anyone?
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
vitamin A, D, E.
Vitamin B and C is a water soluble, and the vitamin A, D, E, K is a fat soluble vitamins.
Okay, very good. Okay, so that's why I have chosen two colors to categorize these vitamin into two categories. Okay, so there are basically two types of vitamins. One is the fat soluble vitamin and another one is the water soluble vitamin. So vitamin A, D, E and K, they are the fat soluble, and the vitamin B and C, they are water soluble. Okay, so here are the list of fat soluble vitamins. So today we will take in detail about the fat soluble vitamins. So vitamin A, D, E and K. Okay, these four vitamins are fat soluble vitamin. Why they are fat soluble vitamin? Because they are happy to remain in because they are fat soluble, they can dissolve in the fat, so they can retain inside the body for a longer period. Okay, so they get stored inside the body, and whenever required, okay, they they are used by the body. Okay, some enzymes can stored in the body for few days and some up to 6 months. Okay, so most of the fat soluble vitamins, they are stored in liver and fatty tissue until they are required for certain physiological function. Okay, so because as I have told, they are stored only in two tissues, okay, liver and the fatty tissues, but their requirement may be in any organ and anywhere in the body. Okay, so whenever there is a requirement of fat soluble vitamin, they basically transport it from liver and the fatty tissue to the site, to the target organ through some specialized or the specific carriers that carry the different fat soluble vitamins. Okay, so then the water soluble vitamin, the vitamin B and C. Okay, because these are the vitamins which are soluble. Okay, so they are water soluble, so they are carried by the blood to the different tissue of the body, and because they are water soluble, so they are easily eliminated from the body through urine. Okay, so that is why the water soluble vitamins require the continuous daily supply in our diet. Okay, these are some of the list of the water soluble vitamins, like vitamin B and C. Vitamin B is also known as a vitamin B complex because they have several vitamins like thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, biotin, folic acid, cobalamin. Okay, so now what is the difference between the fat soluble and water soluble vitamins? Okay, so first we will talk about the absorption. Okay, so these fat soluble vitamins, because what vitamins are, after all, they are essential micronutrients, so they are taken through the diet. So these fat soluble vitamin, when they are ingested inside the body, they're ingested as a food. So when the food comes inside the stomach and then to the intestine, so they are first absorbed into the lymph. Okay, the same way when the fat absorption occur from the intestine, fat is absorbed into the lymph and then it goes to the blood. So the same way the fat soluble vitamin first absorbed into the lymph and then the blood, whereas the water soluble vitamins, they directly absorb into the blood. Then this transport and storage. Okay, so they are transported with the protein carriers. Okay, and then they get stored in the liver and the fatty tissue. Okay, and because and then water soluble vitamin, they travel freely in the blood, watery fluid, and they are mostly not stored in the body. Okay, then excretion, they are not readily excreted, so they used to be get stored inside the tissue, build up inside the tissue, whereas the water soluble vitamins, they readily excreted in the urine. Then the toxicity are likely from the supplement. Okay, but rarely from the food. Okay, means if you take the additional supplement of what fat soluble vitamin, their increase may cause the toxicity, but from the food you will never rarely get the toxicity of the fat soluble vitamins. Then the water soluble vitamins, toxicities are unlikely. Okay, but it is possible if someone takes the higher dose of the water soluble vitamin supplements. Then the requirement is periodic. Periodic means perhaps week or even months. Okay, because body can store it, body can draw it. And the water soluble vitamins, their requirement is very frequent. Okay, perhaps 1 to 3 days. Okay, because body cannot store the water soluble vitamins inside the body. So these are the major differences between the fat soluble and water soluble vitamins. Now we will first take the fat soluble vitamin, that is vitamin A. Okay, so what is vitamin A? This is basically a retinol, or the vitamin A is a retinol. Okay, so basically the retinol is an immediate precursor of very important active metabolite. Number one is the retinol and another one is the retinoic acid. Okay, so basically these two, retinol and retinoic acid, these are two important vitamin A. Okay, the retinol have a critical role in the vision, and the retinoic acid have the important role in the regulation of expression of some of the important genes. Okay, and here you see the structure of the vitamin A, the retinol, the retinol, retinoic acid, and beta carotenoids. Okay, so all form of the vitamin A, okay, have one beta ion ring, this yellow color. Okay, except beta carotenoid, which have two rings. Okay, and then they have one isoprenoid chain. Okay, So all forms of the vitamin A have the beta ion ring to which an isoprenoid chain is attached, which is known as a retinyl group. Okay, and these two, the beta ion ring and the isoprenoid chain, is the essential features which is required for the proper function of the vitamin A activity. Okay, so this vitamin A means retinol and okay, retinol, retinoic acid, they all are basically they are from the animal source. Okay, plant does not synthesize this vitamin A in the form of retinol or retinoic acid, but the several plants contain the carotenoids, okay, such as beta carotene in the carrot. Okay, so this beta carotene can be converted into a vitamin A within the intestine and some other tissue. Means if someone takes the beta plant pigment, okay, or the carrot, okay, which is rich in the beta carotene, so this beta carotene, which is not directly act as a vitamin A, but when it is ingested inside the intestine and some other tissue also, this beta carotene is converted into the retinol, which is a vitamin A. Okay, so now some of the function, the important role of vitamin A in human body. Okay, so the very important role of the vitamin A, its role in the vision. Okay, so there is one important pigment in the cell which is known as rhodopsin. Okay, so actually you just see this is retinol, which is a vitamin. Okay, it get esterified and is stored in the liver. Okay, whenever it is required, whenever there is a requirement of the retinol, okay, what happen, it goes, because retinol have a role in the vision. Okay, so it goes to the eye where the target cell is the retinal cell, the retina cell. Okay, so in the retina cell there is some specialized cells which is known as a rod cells. Okay, basically in the eye or in the retina there is two type of cells, rod cells and cone cells. These two cells are basically responsible for the vision. One is the black and white vision, another for the colored vision. Okay, so when in the rod cell, this retinol is get oxidized into the retinal. Okay, retinal is a aldehyde form. So this retinal, when combined with one protein which is known as opsin, it become rhodopsin. Rhodopsin is a pigment of the rod cell, and this is also this is important for vision in low light, or we can say that it's important for the vision in the night. Okay, so and because of this it actually important, it have a necessary role in the vision. Actually how this retinol actually helps in the vision. What happened, this retinol is present in the form of 11-cis retinol. Okay, when it is in the form of 11-cis retinol, it is attached with the opsin, so it becomes rhodopsin. What happened when light falls on the eye? Okay, when the light falls on the eye, now this cis form of the retinal is get converted into the trans form. So when there is a conversion from cis form of the retinal to the trans form, what happened, there is a several reactions, the cascade of reactions occur, which give the signals to the optic neuron. Okay, so because when light falls on the eye and the rhodopsin, which initially had the cis form of the retinal, it get converted into the trans form. Okay, so because of this change from cis to the trans, okay, there is several reactions occurs. Okay, and then which was sensed by, or the electric impulse get generated, which is sensed by the optic neuron, and it gives the signals to the brain. So this is how the light is converted into the sight. Okay, this is how the brain get the signals that yes, the eye is seeing what. Okay, or the brain interpreting when the lights fall on the eye. Okay, so this retinal actually is a very important component of the vision. Okay, it is very necessary structural component. Okay, and because as I have told, rhodopsin is also important for the vision in the low light, dim light, or in the night. Okay, that's why the deficiency of vitamin A is associated with the night blindness. Okay, now the second function, the role, as I have told, retinol have a function in the vision, and retinoic acid has a role in the gene regulation of gene transcription. Okay, so what happened, there is a two type of retinol. When it is in the form of retinoic acid, then it regulates the transcription of very several important genes through the nuclear receptor. So here is a 9-cis retinoic acid, and this is the trans retinoic acid. So what happened? There is some receptor like RAR, retinoic acid receptor, retinoic receptor. So these two retinoic acid, they get binds to these receptor, the RAR receptor and RXR receptor, and these they form the dimer, the heterodimer. One is RAR, another is the RXR. So here the trans retinoic acid get attached, and here the cis retinoic acid get attached. Then this heterodimer is bind to the nuclear element, which is known as RAR element. So when it binds here, it actually regulates the transcription of a particular gene. Okay, it may upregulate or it may downregulate. It means it may cause the expression of particular gene or cause the suppression of particular gene. Means it may induce the transcription or it may stop the transcription. So this way the retinoic acid actually regulates the transcription of several important genes through a nuclear receptors. Okay, now some other important function like the immune function. Okay, vitamin A is also known as an anti-infective vitamins. Okay, because it has several roles for the normal functioning of a immune system. It has a role in the T cell differentiation. It has a role in the hematopoietic cell differentiation. It has a role in the homing of the T cell inside the intestine, dendritic cell. Okay, it also have a role in the increased immunoglobulin A secretion. Okay, so all together for the normal function of the immune function, the vitamin A is required. That is why it is known as an anti-infective vitamin also. Okay, then another function of the vitamin A is epithelial cell integrity. Okay, so many epithelial cells, okay, they required vitamin A for proper differentiation and maintenance. Okay, and particularly this retinoic acid, okay, it is appear to maintain the normal skin health. Okay, and it basically if someone have suppose someone of you must have sometime have the acne or the pimple issue. Okay, so whenever you meet a dermatologist, okay, or whenever he used to give you any ointment, okay, or any medicine for external application, okay, most of the the ointment which is given for the acne, okay, and the skin issues, they contains a good amount of vitamin A in the form of retinoic acid. Okay, because they helps to maintain the normal skin type. It reduces the size of the sebaceous gland. It reduce the secretion of the sebaceous fluid. Okay, that's why it prevents the formation of the acne on the face. Okay, the skin. Then the next function is the bone remodeling. Okay, so the normal functioning of osteoblast means bone forming cell, and osteoclast, then it also depend on the availability of the retinol. Okay, then the reproduction. The normal level of the vitamin is also required for the sperm production. Why? Because this enzyme is responsible for proper differentiation and maintenance of the spermatogenic epithelial cells. Okay, and for a normal reproductive cycle of the female also requires the adequate amount of the vitamin A. So these are some of the important roles in the physiology of the vitamin A. Now what are the disease which is caused by the vitamin A deficiency? Okay, so it is usually result from the malnutrition. Okay, it may be of two types. The first, maybe a person is taking less amount of vitamin A through the dietary supplement, or maybe they are taking the sufficient amount, but there is an abnormality in the intestinal absorption of retinol or carotenoids. Okay, so the very first disorder which is associated with the vitamin A deficiency is the blindness. Okay, because due to the inability to synthesize the adequate quantity of rhodopsin. Rhodopsin is basically opsin plus retinol. Okay, so this rhodopsin is a pigment which is responsible for the vision in low light. That's why the vitamin A deficiency causes the night blindness. Okay, and if there is a severe deficiency, it can result in the dryness and opacity of the cornea, which is also known as xerophthalmia. Okay, then another is the increased risk of mortality from the infectious disease. As in the previous slide, I have told the vitamin A is also known as anti-infectious vitamin. Okay, so it is required for the normal functioning of the immune system. So if there is a vitamin A deficiency, so what will happen? It will weakens the individual's immune system. Okay, so if there is a weakened immune system, what will happen? There is a risk of mortality from the infectious disease. Okay, then another is the abnormal function of many epithelial cell. Okay, so as I have told, for differentiation and maintenance of the epithelial cell, vitamin A is required. So if the deficiency of vitamin A is there, what will happen? There will be the condition like the dry, scaly skin, inadequate secretion of the mucosal surface. Okay, it also caused the infertility because it hampered the differentiation of the sperm cells. Okay, and then it also caused the decreased synthesis of thyroid hormones. Then the last symptom is the abnormal bone growth. Okay, if an animal have or individual have a vitamin A deficiency, it can result into the deformed skull. Okay, and it also affect the central nervous system and the optic nerve. Okay, one second. Okay, now the source of vitamin A. Okay, so the egg, milk, basically if I'm talking about the animal source, so the milk, dietary products, egg, butter. Okay, fish, liver fish oil. Okay, these are the sources. Okay, from animal source, then from the plants. Okay, where there is no direct vitamin A. Okay, basically the beta carotenoids. Okay, that can be get converted into the vitamin A. So the sweet potato, green, yellow color vegetables, they all are the source of vitamin A. Now the another fat soluble vitamin, that is vitamin D. Okay, so what are the other names of vitamin D? So cholecalciferol, calciferol, anti-rachitic factor, sunshine vitamin. Okay, these are some of the alternative name of the vitamin D. Now there is a question, some people used to say vitamin D is not a vitamin, it is a hormone. Okay, so anyone can tell me why vitamin D is also considered as a hormone? The definition of the vitamin is it is an essential micronutrient. So essential means a substance which cannot be synthesized inside the body. Okay, but if we talk about the vitamin D, it can be synthesized inside the body. Okay, under the skin in the presence of sunlight. Okay, so if it can be synthesized inside the body, so it may be the hormone. if it is supposed to be vitamin, then it should not be synthesized. Okay, then it is released in the circulation, same like the hormone. Okay, then has distinct target organ. Okay, so it can target on several organs, then, and their function is very similar to the steroid hormones. Okay, that's why the vitamin D is also considered as a hormone. Okay, but it was initially discovered or named as a vitamin D. That's why it is still in the category of the vitamins. Okay. Okay. Now, what are vitamin D? Okay, so vitamin D is basically a group of fat soluble steroids, okay, which is responsible for increasing. They are not basically steroid, they are steroid like molecules. Okay, they are actually sarcosteroid. Sarcosteroid means a steroid in which one ring is broken. Okay, if we talk about these steroids, if we take the general structure of the steroid, they have 4 rings. Okay, and they all 4 rings are intact. But when we talk about the vitamin D, in this there is one ring is broken. That's why they are known as the sarcosteroid. Okay, sarco means the cut. Okay, so vitamin D is basically a group of fat soluble sarcosteroid which is responsible for increased intestinal absorption of calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus. Okay, and it also have some other biological effects on individual's body. So in the human, there is a most important component in this group of vitamin D is vitamin D3 and vitamin D2. Vitamin D3 is also known as cholecalciferol and vitamin D as a ergocalciferol. So vitamin D3 cholecalciferol has the animal origin, and the vitamin D2 ergocalciferol have the plant origin. Okay, so the major natural source of vitamin D is its synthesis of cholecalciferol in the lower layer of skin epidermis. Okay, which is dependent of sunlight or sun exposure. So this cholecalciferol so this is the natural source. Okay, but it doesn't mean it cannot be ingested in the form of food or the diet supplement. Okay, so cholecalciferol and ergocalciferol can be ingested in the diet or in the form of supplement. So this is how the chemical synthesis of vitamin D occurs inside the animals. So this is basically the 7-dihydroxycholesterol, okay, and which is present under the skin epidermis. Okay, then in the presence of UVB, what happened? It is get converted into the pre-vitamin, okay, D3. Then in the skin, it converted into the cholecalciferol. Then it get transported to the liver, okay, and in the liver, it is get converted into the calcidiol. Okay, these are some of the pigments which is responsible, and the enzymes which are responsible for the conversion of cholecalciferol into the calcidiols. And then from liver, then when it goes to the kidney, in the kidney it is get converted into the active form, okay, which is the 1-alpha-25-dihydroxyvitamin D3. Okay, that is calcitriols. Okay, so basically under the skin it is present as a 3-hydroxycholesterol, okay, which is in the presence of sunlight get converted into the cholecalciferol. Then in the liver it is get converted into the calcidiol, and in the kidney in the most active form in the form of calcitriols, okay, which is responsible for the maintenance of the calcium and phosphorus in the body, or the calcium phosphorus homeostasis. Okay, now the function of vitamin D. Okay, so it maintains the normal plasma level of calcium and phosphorus by acting on these 3 organs: the intestine, bone, and kidney. Okay, so here we'll see how how the regulation of the calcium and phosphorus occurs. Okay, what happens when there is a low blood calcium? Okay, it gets sensed by the parathyroid gland. So what happened? This parathyroid glands secrete the parathyroid hormone. Then this parathyroid hormone act on both the kidney as well as the bone. And what happened when this parathyroid hormone acts on the kidney? Okay, it forms the active form of the vitamin D. Okay, it caused the release of this. So because of this, it caused the calcium excretion and the phosphorus excretion. Okay, and then because of the secretion of this active vitamin D form, what happened? The absorption of the calcium and phosphorus takes place in the intestine. Okay, and if there is a low calcium, then bones also releases the calcium and the phosphorus inside the cell. Okay, so this way this vitamin D actually regulates the calcium and phosphorus inside the cell. So what just we'll see one by one in the each organ the action of calcitriol or the active form of the vitamin D in the intestine. What happened? It increased the plasma calcium and phosphorus concentration. It caused the increase in the synthesis of calcium binding protein, that is calbindolins, to increase the absorption of calcium and phosphorus from the intestine. Now in the bone, it promotes the mineralization of the bone. Okay, and this vitamin D along with PTH stimulate the mobilization of calcium and phosphorus from the bone. Means it function on both the way. It promotes the mineralization of the bone when there is a requirement in the bone, and it get released to the blood system when there is a low of calcium and phosphorus inside the blood. Okay, then the action as in kidney. Okay, it increase the reabsorption of calcium and phosphorus from the kidney, and if there is an excess, then it cause the decrease of in the excretion of calcium and phosphorus. Okay, so this is how this vitamin D actually regulates the calcium and phosphorus homeostasis. Now the deficiency of vitamin D. Okay, these are the two disease which two important disease which is caused by the vitamin. The number one is the rickets in the children and osteomalacia in the adults. Okay, so what is the symptoms of what is the clinical manifestation of the rickets? Okay, the number one is the decreased serum calcium, means the concentration of the calcium ion gets reduced in the blood serum. Then soft and malleable bones. Bone deformities, means change in the shape and the structure, the density of the bone. Delayed dentination, means the teething is delayed. Then the delayed closure of anterior frontal area, means delayed closure of anterior frontal area is basically a skull closure on the top of the head of the children's infants. So this is the clinical manifestation. What happened? It basically has the bow legs, okay, or the knock knees. Okay, and another one is this the rosary ribs. Okay, in what happened in the rickets? What happened? The deficiency of vitamin D. What happened actually? It caused the deposition of calcium on the ribs, so it caused the swelling and it rosary kind of appearance occurs, and also the pigeon chest. Okay, so these are some of the clinical manifestation of the rickets in the children's. Then the adult rickets, or the disease which is caused by the vitamin D deficiency in adults, is the osteomalacia. Okay, osteomalacia. One second. So here also the decreased serum calcium, insufficient mineralization, soft and palpable bones, increased osteoporosis, and bone deformities. Okay, so basically the normal, this is the normal bone density, and this is the rickets or osteomalacia, and because of this, okay, the bending of the spine occurs. Okay. Now the source of vitamin D, as I have told, the naturally it formed in the under the skin in the presence of sunlight. Otherwise, it they are found in the flesh of the fatty fishes like salmon, tuna, mackerel, in the fish liver oil. The fatty fishes and the fish liver oil are the best source of the vitamin D. Then they are also found in small amount in beef liver, cheese, and egg yolk. These are the 10 best vitamin D rich food: the fortified cereals, orange juice, egg yolk, mushroom, cod liver oil, caviar fish, egg, fatty fishes, and ricotta cheese. Okay, these are the best source of vitamin D. Now, another fat soluble vitamin, that is vitamin E. So, as I have told, this is a fat soluble vitamin. It is also known as a anti-aging vitamin. Okay, and it, because it have the antioxidant activity. Okay, it has a capacity to reduce the activity of the free radical. Okay, it basically stops the formation of the free radical in the very first place. So what happened if the formation of the free radical is interrupted? Then what happened? The oxidizing chain reaction is minimized, so the damage which is caused by the free radical inside the body is reduced with the presence of the antioxidant activity of the vitamin E. Okay, so vitamin E, chemically they are basically the tocopherols. Okay, tocos means childbirth, feroz means to bear, and all means alcohol. So that is why vitamin E is also known as anti-infertility vitamin. Okay, they are known as an anti-infertility vitamin because they prevents the oxidative damage in the fertility tissue. They prevent the oxidative damage in the cells which produce the gametes, whether the female gamete or the male gamete. Okay, so if that is why it is also known as the anti-infertility vitamin. Okay, so and because of its antioxidant property. Okay, so this is the structure of the vitamin E. This is basically a family of compound which have tocol ring and isoprenoid side chain. Okay, so there is a two type of vitamin E, tocopherols and tocotrienols. So this is the upper one is the alpha tocopherol, and this is the alpha tocotrienols. Okay, so they both have tocol ring and isoprenoid chain. Now the role of vitamin E, as I have told, this is the anti-infertility vitamin. It maintains the germinal epithelium of gonad. Okay, so it then this it also protect the cell membrane and some other parts of the body like the LDL cholesterol, low density, okay, cholesterol from oxidation. Okay, so it reduces the risk of heart disease. Okay, and it also reduces the risk of some type of cancer because of its antioxidant property. Okay, it promotes the normal growth and development, promotes normal RBC formation. It also acts as an anti-blood clotting agent. Okay, it has some roles in a body ability to process the glucose, and it also known to aid the process of wound healing. It is also known as an anti-aging vitamin. Whenever you used to visit the saloons, okay, who used to treat the skin, okay, they use this vitamin E capsules. Okay, vitamin E capsule directly on the skin, because the vitamin E, which is the tocopherol, it have the antioxidant property. So what happened? It reduce the free radical production inside the skin cells. Okay, so what happened if there is a less free radical production? So there will be less damage. Okay, so the skin will be better. That's why the salon or the skincare salons, okay, they use vitamin E. That is why it is also known as an anti-aging vitamin. Okay, now the symptoms of vitamin E deficiency: it increases the fragility of the RBC, it causes some of the neurological change, and it one disease which is known as retrolental fibroplasia. It is basically a neurological disease which is observed in the premature infant. Okay, means an infant which is preterm, okay, which is born before the completion of the gestation period, okay, with very low birth weight, okay, because there is a poor placental transfer of vitamin E, means a vitamin E deficiency cause the retrolental fibroplasia in the premature infant or preterm infant, okay. Now the source of vitamin E. Okay, the vegetable oils such as wheat germ, sunflower, safflower, corn and soybean oils, they all are a good source of vitamin E. Then the nuts like almonds, peanut, hazelnuts, and some seeds like sunflower seeds, they all are a very good source of vitamin E. Now the another fat soluble vitamin, which is vitamin K, we will see. Okay, as we are discussing all the vitamin A, vitamin D, the vitamin E, we told these are the fat soluble vitamin. Then for the vitamin K, I'm also telling this is the fat soluble vitamin. But here I have written the vitamin K represent a group of lipophilic and hydrophobic vitamins. So it is also a fat soluble vitamin. Okay. Its term K is derived from the German word coagulation. Okay, this is an enzyme which have an important role in the process of blood clotting or blood coagulation. Okay, so basically three types of three chemicals or the group of molecules which are known as a vitamin K. The number one is the phylloquinone, which is also known as vitamin K1. This is the normal dietary source and found in the green vegetables like spinach and broccoli. Okay. Then menaquinone, which is also known as the vitamin K2, is synthesized by the intestinal bacteria. Okay, which have the different length in the side chain. And then the third one is the menadione and menadiol diacetate. These two are the synthetic compound that can be metabolized into the vitamin K1 phylloquinone. Here we can see the chemistry of this. This one is the phylloquinone, which have the quinone ring and the isoprenoid side chain. This is the quinone ring, isoprenoid side chain. So this phylloquinone and menaquinone, they both have this isoprenoid side chain, but the synthetic form of the vitamin K, which is actually the menadione or menadiol diacetate, it doesn't have the isoprenoid chain, but it only have one hydrogen in place of the isoprenoid chain. Okay, so now what are the dietary source of the vitamin K? So the green leafy vegetables such as kale, spinach, okay, even the broccoli, parsley, they all are the good source of vitamin K. Then the liver, vegetable oil, particularly the olive, canola and soybean oils. Okay, and some amount is contributed by the intestinal bacteria, that is vitamin K2. Okay, now the function of vitamin K, it has a major role in blood coagulation, bone synthesis, and it prevents the atherosclerosis. Now the vitamin K deficiency, this is the clinical manifestation of the vitamin K. The main symptom of the vitamin K deficiency is the hemorrhage, okay, into the skin. So it or from the nose, from the wound in the stomach or in the intestine. And because of the vitamin K deficiency, blood may be seen in the urine and stool also. Okay, and in newborn, if the newborn have the severe vitamin K deficiency, it could be life-threatening. Okay, it cause the bleeding within and around the brain. Okay, so this the main clinical manifestation of the vitamin K deficiency. Okay, so today up